Good morning. I got 7.5 hours of sleep last night. So happy about that. I slept really well. It was super quiet here, and it's a little bit windy today, but every other time I've stayed here in the past has been super windy, like rock the van, maybe keep you up at night windy. So yeah, that was a nice treat. It was perfectly clear last night. The little sliver of a moon set early, and then there were so many stars, and I just wish I had the energy to like lay out and enjoy it or film it, but I know I'll get lots of time for that in the future. But yeah, it was nice to get a good sleep. There's truck, and we are at a lake in Nevada, Walker Lake. I stay here all the time when I pass by. And this time there's actually two other rigs here, so it's like quite spread out. Like, one's like a half mile that way, and one's like a quarter mile that way. So, yeah, it's super chill this time. I've never been here when it's busy. I feel like it's a lot busier in the summer when people want to go swimming, but I've stayed in the exact same place that I stayed in last time, and I navigated here by memory and drove through loose sand. So I think that'll be fine on the way out. I got out last time, so that's about that. I'm just gonna sit out here and just enjoy this fresh air and beautiful, beautiful morning before I make some coffee. Good morning. You're so precious, buddy. Freaking cute you are. Oh, you look so cozy. There's gonna be sunshine soon for you to lay out in if you want. Yay! These are the mornings we dreamed of. Hey, Frank. It's so nice. It's a little windy, but I parked just perfect to enjoy the view out my side door and shield us from the wind if we're like right here by the van. So we're just enjoying the sunshine. Having coffee. To me, it feels quite warm. I could probably just be in a tank top, but this is a very light cotton long sleeve. My Taylor Swift from the Tortured Poets department. Got it the tour. Happy. This is the first day of the winter we need, especially the winter Frank needs. Hey, I love the snow. I really like being cozy in the van and like bad weather and stuff, but honestly, life is so much easier down here. So much easier. First of all, I woke up, the windows were clear. There was zero condensation. Like, I didn't turn the heat on last night. It was chilly in the night, but like I just slept with the Pendleton and a cotton blanket, and like I have so many more blankets. Um, and yeah, it was just like woke up a little chilly, fell back asleep, and then it was fine. And yeah, and just sunshine. Like we're in the sun. It's so beautiful. Oh, I love it here so much. So another reason why I veered off the 395 for a couple days is I really, really like Western Nevada, especially like Northwestern Nevada, and I like coming here. And it's just better than driving through Reno and Carson City. Like, yeah, there's good gas along the way. It's also like cheaper, I think, than driving through California. So I'm about to make a breakfast. I have to do a bunch of editing this morning, and we're gonna sit down together and figure out how we're getting to where we're going today, which is gonna be the Owens Valley, like Bishop area. Well, there's a couple different routes to get there from here, so we gotta figure that out. That makes me so happy. He's having the best morning. This is how he wants to spend his mornings, laying in the sun. He's looking at me, enjoying a crunchy treat. And I'm going to use my tiny little cast iron to make breakfast. It's a lodge. It's a lodge. 6.5-inch skillet or fry pan. I don't know what you guys call those down here, but oh no. I got one ready, and that's how I do that. I just toast like one half of the bun or bagel and then one egg, and then I can eat this while the other bun or bagel and egg are frying. And you know, it's not the quickest process, but I don't mind. It helps me to slow down in the morning and allows me to be really present with making breakfast and just savor. And it's absolutely worth it to be able to do this inside, out of the wind, and you know, not have to like set up the other stove and stuff. So I just find this is really easy and a nice way to enjoy better breakfasts, because I used to really just not eat breakfast, and I honestly feel a lot better when I eat breakfast, and especially when I have eggs for breakfast. So I'm very pleased with my little frying pan. This has been such a nice place to just hang out this morning and edit and enjoy the sun, and the sun on my van makes it so comfortable in here. And now that I got a video done, it is time to plan my route down to Bishop. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen recording of this and put it up here so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm camped up here along Walker Lake. This Hawthorne, Nevada is the first town I'll get to. And then Bishop is down here. So I can either go this way into the Sierras, go through Mono City, Lee Vining, Mammoth Lakes, and down there to Bishop. Or I can take the 95, I think, to the 6th to come into Bishop. So this is a much higher elevation route, whereas the route that's in dark blue is going to be a lower elevation. Now, I would really like to take the route that goes more through the Sierras. They are almost exactly the same time driving from Hawthorne. They're both 2 hours. The difference is like 1 minute. But it is nice and sunny here. And I don't really want to drive in the snow anymore. So the big thing is we're going to check the weather. We're going to check the weather first for Mammoth Lakes and see what that says. So we have a wind advisory that comes up. Now, a couple days ago, I drove through an area that had really, really, really strong winds, and it was like pushing my van around quite bad. It was a little unnerving. So today is Friday, so this afternoon, it is 11:30 now. It'll be at least noon before I get out of here. This afternoon, Mammoth Lakes says ice pellets, and then snow this evening. It just says 1 centimeter of snow this afternoon, 1 to 3 centimeters this evening, and cold. That doesn't sound very fun. And like that whole area is quite high elevation. So, what's the weather in Bishop, California? I used to spend a lot of time in Bishop bouldering. I used to be obsessed with bouldering. That was the the thing I did living in a van for years. My van life was all about going places to climb and to boulder and then to like forage and hibernate. So today in Bishop, the weather is, oh, sunny, warm. It is going to be cold overnight, but that is normal in the desert this time of year, especially in the high desert. So based on the weather, I'm going to be taking the route that goes further through Nevada and then enters Bishop from the east as opposed to from the west. So doing stuff like this is basically a daily activity living in the van. I almost always check the weather before I set out on a route. And then, like the other night when I stayed at that hot spring, because it had rained a lot recently, clearly the ground was very soft, there was some mud, it could be really easy to get stuck in there. Before I actually settled down for the night, I did check the weather just to make sure it wasn't going to rain a bunch in the night and that I'd be able to get out of there the next day. So yeah, sometimes I get messages from people telling me about storms or this or that, and I am definitely on top of it all the time. All right. Yeehaw, let's go. Drop the sand. Nice, no problemo. That's what I thought. The last time I camped here, I came to use this outhouse and it was locked. So I taught you guys the dog bag method for packing out your poop, which I just used today because I just assumed this would be locked, and because it was windy, I used little rocks to hold the bag down and then scooped it up, put in another bag, put it in the trasharoo on the back, and I'll unload it when I find a garbage.
Please don't speak to me. Silence.
World's largest ammo depot. It's wild.
Turn left onto US 95 truck. Turn left onto US 95 South, signs for Tonopah, Las Vegas.
His body trembling.
Over the years, traveling in the American West, I've seen many signs about dust storms and never seen a dust storm, so I didn't know what the correct protocol is when you enter one, but when I saw that semi disappear into it, I started to get a little nervous, and at this point, I was basically crapping my pants and swearing profusely, absolutely terrified. It's been a long time since I've been that gripped on the wheel. It felt like ages, but it actually wasn't that long, and I hope to never experience that again. I have stopped at a rest stop just to let my nerves settle a bit more. That was really scary, that dust storm. And yeah, I unloaded some garbage. There's a girl running around stirring up the pigeons. She's having the time of her life. But yeah, it's Frank is not happy about it. He keeps growling at her. He does not appreciate people behaving mischievously or coming near the van.
Turn right onto Nevada 360 South, signs for Nevada 360 South.
made it, and I am actually parked in a spot that I have stayed in countless times over the years. I was hoping it would be available. I also wanted to maybe go further down the road and stay at some other spots I'm quite fond of, but the washboard is the worst I've ever experienced, not just on this road, but possibly ever. And I have really good suspension now, and it was horrible. Do you remember it here? Yeah. You can lay on your mat, buddy. It's been a long time. It's been a long, long time, Frank. It's actually been quite a few years since I've come to Bishop. The last time I drove through was in like March or April of 2020, and I was just on my way to a place where I was gonna like shelter in place and try to like wait to see what was going on. And at that time, Bishop was extremely unwelcoming. So I just passed through, and yeah, before that, the times I were here were both really amazing, but also a lot of the memories are really hard for me. I did not expect when I pulled into the valley that I would just be like overcome with like gut-wrenching heartache. And you know, I kind of knew that some stuff would come back, and that's why I did want to come here. I wanted to come here, one, for Frank, if he remembers being here before, just for him to be able to like relive like good memories, because he had so much fun all the times we were here. He just loved it here, and we had a lot of good times with a lot of good friends here. But I also have two like major like loves of my life that are wrapped up with this place. One is also wrapped up with the Yukon, which I was kind of cryptically mentioned a couple years ago, and then the other one is like really tied to here. And yeah, they're like the two relationships that hurt the most still, and apparently they hurt a lot more than I realized. So yeah, it'll be good to kind of sit with that a bit tonight and process that. So anyways, it is a big thing for me to come back here, and I'm glad I'm doing it, and maybe we'll get a nice sunset tonight, and I'm looking forward to like a nice slow morning here like I've enjoyed so many times in the past. It was sure nice watching Frank take it all in and sniff the air. I really do think he remembered being here after a little while. I don't think he did at first, but he was laying there checking it out and felt like he remembered. But as soon as the sun went below those clouds, it got pretty chilly, so he wants to be inside. There are really dark, nasty clouds over the Sierra, especially to the north. So I'm really glad for the route I took, because it was just an easy day. It was no stress. And yeah, it went fast. It was the shortest drive I've done so far. I'm going to have a short drive tomorrow, and then a short drive the day after, and then a long day to finish out, because I think I'm going to be stopping to see a friend on the way in a couple days, which I'm excited about. But yeah, it's you know, so many mixed feelings about being here. It's such a neat thing about being a human, is that at the same time I can feel so happy and so heartbroken, and it's such a honestly such a gift to be able to experience so much. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to just like work through these feelings so I can find closure and be able to come back here and just enjoy it. So yeah, that's a big part of why I chose to come through this way, as well as where I'm going to go tomorrow, but I will tell you about that tomorrow. So it was nice to be able to get the shot of the moon and Venus after missing it last night. And I've just made dinner. Tonight I made this, which doesn't look like much. It just, looks pretty whatever, but we'll see how it tastes. Okay. Mmm. 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 That is pretty tasty, and it heated up well on the pocket rocket without burning, which was really nice. I like that it was saucy enough, and because it's saucy and I have a big night ahead of me, I also toasted another ciabatta bun. I have at this point basically eaten all of my fresh food that doesn't fit in the fridge. My fridge is half drinks and then half food, so I still have like the yogurt, and some tofu and tempeh, which I actually bought before. Outside the fridge, I've eaten everything else except half the tomatoes and a third of the carrots, and they're still super fresh, so I'm not worried about them going bad, which is awesome. I got a comment that so much food was going to go bad, and nothing has gone bad, and it's mostly all going to be eaten up by the time I get to Trader Joe's again in a couple days. So I'm going to eat my dinner, and while I eat my dinner, I'm actually watching a video that I didn't make. I'm watching the latest video from Evan and Caitlin. They're crafters. They're following a Bob Ross tutorial, but the room is in red light, so they can't really see the paint colors. So that's what I'm watching while I eat, and then I will be moving on to editing. All right, that was super tasty. Considering how it tasted, that it's organic, and that it was only $4, I will definitely buy that again at Trader Joe's. It was so convenient to have on hand. Just be able to like heat and eat. I really like that kind of stuff in the van, especially when I don't feel like cooking, which is basically this entire trip. I knew it would be a lot. I knew it'd be a lot of work, like driving 10 days and filming and editing. What I didn't account for was that I'd also be posting while I was also driving, filming, and editing. And I really like to try to respond to lots of comments. So I actually spent the first 2 hours I was in camp here today just replying to comments, because today's video came out like basically when I got here. And yeah, so I'm just like, oh, I didn't account for that. So I'm a little busier than I expected, and that's fine. It's a challenge. Yeah, with that said, thank you so much for joining me for this 7th day? 6th day? 7th day. 7th day! I have, 3 more days left, and then I'll arrive in Quartzsite on the end of the 3rd day, so I'm so excited. Anyways, I do need to get on with editing because I have a lot to do. So, huge thank you to patrons and to channel members. I appreciate you if you've watched all the way through. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, good morning, Frankie. We love you, Frank. Not just me, Frank. Everyone watching loves you.